And finally, after some technical issues with the marvelous internet, we are now live with this welcome webinar round 2 for the master program Energy for Smart Cities. Thank you so much for being with us here today. My name is Carl Barkestam and I'm working with the master programs. And together with me today, I have two presenters, Rickard and Charles. Both are first-year students from KTH, and they will share some of their experiences with the program with you and how they got into the program and what they're looking forward to in the coming next year. Together with us, we also have Machtel van Reisingen, who is one of our Master School officers who will help us out with the more technical or administrative questions. But without further ado, let me introduce the first speaker of the day. It's Rickard. So please introduce yourself and take the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Carl. Hello, everybody. My name is Rickard Lundholm. As you mentioned, I'm doing the first year of Energy for Smart Cities in Stockholm. And I got accepted to do my next year in Leuven, Belgium. I am Swedish, from Sweden, from Västerås. I'm also the first Swedish student to be a part of the entire KIC program. But now I know that there's a couple more Swedish people are coming, so it's good. It's good stuff. I'm going to be talking a lot about my general experiences with the course and focus mainly on the innovation journey that Energy for Smart City has to do. And then Charles is going to pick up later and talk more about the individual courses and stuff. So if we'll do the next slide. Yeah, so some of the best experience that you'll get to be a part of here in Energy for Smart Cities is this innovation journey that you'll do, where you'll go to Barcelona in November, Leuven in February or March, I forget, and then Amsterdam is coming up now in July. And each of the different things is it's a completely paid for trip where you get to go and see smart cities and how they've like tackled problems that they do, at the same time learning how to think, doing workshops to see how you to think innovatively is the main focus of Barcelona. They'll give you different tools that you can do to change your mind and how you think. You have the school in Leuven, which is about building a creative and innovative business model in order to sell your idea. And then we have the entrepreneurial part in Amsterdam, which is supposed to be how to take your product and make it into something really cool. But we'll see how that's going to be. Some of the cool things about studying at KTH for the first year is that KTH is very good at mixing in different types of projects and different ways of teaching, which is really interesting. And I've really enjoyed getting all of the different complete full aspects. And the majority of the courses now, at least in the second semester, has been about system innovation rather than specific engineering and math. Though there is a lot of math courses and a lot of technical stuff, the main courses that they really want to highlight that are semi-exclusive to smart cities has to do with systems innovations, looking at the whole problem rather than just like a specific thing, and understanding how to tackle that. It's really cool and kind of eye-opening. Next slide, please. From outside the program, being part of KIC it's cool because you'll hang out with Energy for Smart Cities students, but you'll hang out with all of the other KIC people as well, or at least you'll know them. You'll see them around and be like, you're from Select, nice. You're from M&A, cool. And then I did a project with some of the nuclear people, and of course we had, and it's great bonding. Where you'll live, there'll be a bunch of people living nearby, so it's really great. You'll get to see Stockholm, the capital of Scandinavia, as it's called, as it's self-proclaimed. It's a nice, beautiful town, a little bit spread out. You'll be lucky if you get into Lappis, but if you get into some of the other ones, you can still easy transportation in and out of the city. It's real nice. For me, I've had the benefit of being Swedish, so I can work for the school, but I also know a couple of other friends that have managed to find work here in Sweden, which is really cool because they'll take care of you. They'll You'll do networking. You'll get to meet a bunch of different people and get to see places in KTH that you might not otherwise have seen. Like Sweden's very first nuclear reactor was built in KTH, and people walk by it every day, but it's not something they usually get to see. But Energy for Smart Cities has had specific courses in that room, so that's kind of cool. Next slide. He's going to talk more about this. This is essentially the lineup of my courses that I did. There's assignments and exams and project and exams, written reports, just a bunch of different fun, cool projects that you get to do, which I'll touch upon in the next slide. You can go to. Yeah. So first year, we did a project specific about, there's a course you'll do that's Smart Cities Strategies and Climate Mitigation. Smart City and Climate Mitigation Strategies is what the course is called. And amongst which the project that I had to do was about gamification and how to get people involved in caring about changing the environment that they're living in. And it was targeted directly to a newly built living area, or it's in the process of being built, that's supposed to be completely sustainable, and to then get the people. So we had to think of a way to make gamification and eventually create an app and think about that, which is cool to see the real application that your project could do in order to try to benefit other people. In the second year, we had a very big project that had to do with energy management of a district that we picked. This is the one that I worked together with the nuclear technology people. And that was really cool because then this is system innovation. They give you like, okay, you have a district, figure out all of its energy consumption from traffic, from what buildings use what kind of energy, from if the transportation within, and basically everything that has to do. What's its climate renewable potential, all of that, and then how by 2050 can you completely change the energy grid. We worked through that. Very, very challenging, but very interesting to see the different thing. And you have to take into account government impact as well as people's influences and how trends will go. Very interesting project. And then I did a course. This was not one of the recommended courses for Energy for Smart Cities, but I found it via. I found it because of a friend was taking it, and it's Solar Energy Systems for Buildings and Cities. And it's a very good course, and I recommend anyone who wants to do more renewable, want to learn more about how renewable energies can be implemented. I really recommend this course, and they're going to change it for next year to be more an introduction to solar energy, and then a specific project-based course in the second semester. But it has to do with you're given PV panels that you'll put on buildings, and you have to try to maximize the internal system, see how it works economically, and then eventually propose the idea to the supposed people that would be building the project. It was very interesting, and I didn't have any real background in solar energy before. I learned heaps just by being like tossed into the deep end and learning how to swim. It was a really fun, really good course. And if you want to know more about renewable energy, this is not a recommended course, but I do recommend it. Next slide. Future. So definitely solar energy or renewable energy in general. But the cool thing about Leuven right now is that me and Charles, we both already know our master's programs that we're doing. We applied for them before and we selected them. And my master's thesis has to do with measuring the wind. What's the exact word? Measuring the wind effects to increase production, to increase solar panel production is my thing. So I'm definitely heading towards this, and I would like to implement this. My direction is going to be to implement it in developing countries to give electricity to those without standard electricity. Small company versus big company. This is a thing that's going to be a little bit conflicting with how it is, because in this course they'll focus a lot. You're doing an entrepreneurial week, an innovation week, where they want you to build your own thing and to focus on the small things. Everything is in the small companies. But then of course there's pros to working with big companies and the pros to working with small companies. So this is something that you are going to have to find yourself. You're gonna feel what you think is the most best. Right now, I'm leaning towards small companies because then you get to do more and have more of an impact in the workplace. Is how they sell it. Big company, you get to specialize. Small company, you get to do and learn as much as you can. Entrepreneur, if an idea comes to mind, sure, I have the knowledge, but we'll see how that goes. I think I'm done. If we do next slide. This was for the other thing, so I don't know. You guys already applied and got accepted, so Han Chao, take it away.
Charles, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, good.
All right.
Good. So I'm now speaking. First, I think Ricky already covered a lot of important stuff. So my name is Han Chao, and I'm from China, as you can tell, and I previously studied in UK. My background is electrical engineer. So, and what I expected at the beginning when I joined this course, I thought this might be like close related with the power system or something, energy sector. But actually, what I learned the most is about entrepreneurship first, and also the system thinking, as Ricky has pointed out, like how to modeling the system, not only for the energy sector, but also for other area you're gonna work on later. Next slide, please. So as Ricky has told, covered about the KTH, how it's like how the academic side are working on the KTH. First, I should say, studying Stockholm, studying Sweden is a life experience. Like for me, like I'm from China, I haven't got any experience before on how efficient can be the energy system, like how they running to be a green system, a green city. But Stockholm is way beyond the standard now. It's like, for example, we met several people from Fortum, which is Swedish heating and cooling suppliers, and they have like super efficient ways to implement that, like using the seawater cooling and also like borehole cooling. We visit the plants, and it's really eye-opening, as Ricky has told. The second thing is a fun fact. Sweden is the first country to import the rubbish, because they run out of his own rubbish, and then they need more to burn to generate power. That's how efficient they are, like how the system, like how brilliant it is. So it will be through these courses you can visit several plants, several heating plants, and several district cooling plants, and various of things you can see and experience. And also, as Rick has told about the course, he recommended the solar course, which is not listed on our courses selection. But yeah, so basically you can select any course you like. But I mean, they have some restrictions, and there's a compulsory courses, of course. But you can select one or two courses which is not listed on the table on the website. So for me, I selected the deep learning. That is the course for computer science, and I chose it. It's really tough and really difficult, but I learned a lot, which is I think it's new area, and this is a great opportunity to learn at this time, because this is the next generation technology. So which basically you can select as much course as you like, but you can there's many selections. That's what I think. And the rich research opportunities. For me, I have applied for the research opportunities provided by a power electronics department, and they pay me for doing some 3 months research. And yeah, so I think it will be really easy for you to find the research group and some competitions. You can join in and earn the money, and also can have fun and learn some stuff. Also, as Ricky said before, the way you live in Stockholm is like if you live in Lapis, you will be really close to the campus. But if you live in outside the main city center, like Widet, you still can find a lot of stuff to do around the accommodations. And you can either be research oriented, like if you want to do the research area, and also you can also do the life oriented, like if you want to enjoy life in Stockholm, you can definitely do that. And also learning oriented, like for me personally, I selected as much course as I can, and try to learn more stuff. Yeah, so you can choose different ways to live in Stockholm in KTH as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so that's several pictures you took. So first is the Acceptance Day. It's like a Swedish tradition, and the second one on the right top one, that's the Fortum heat pump. Like we visit the district heating system and see and know like how the system has been built and how efficient it runs. And the third picture is how beautiful Stockholm is. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. Yeah, so there are several things you can do in KTH during this study year. So for us, the first year student, we have got a Gotland trip. Smart Cities program paid us majority fee and then we paid a little to visit Gotland, to visit the wind farm. And there's a course called the Smart Cities course. We also have the campus visit to see to witness how KTH are planning for the future, and how each department is like. And power plant visits, as I said, about the heating, district heating and district cooling power plants. And several cultural, activities, like Stockholm Open Days happens in last month, and every museum and a lot of stuff is happening in Stockholm, and you can do like as you want. And skiing is during the winter time. There's skiing everywhere in Stockholm as well. And yeah, of course, summertime is the best, and now it's sunny and like really beautiful nature around us. And yeah, winter time could be long. So if you plan to go to Stockholm, then you definitely need to prepare how winter will look like. But it's not that terrible. So you can go to the gym. It's very cheap to go to the gym as well. So yeah, you do some activities, and that would be easy to endure. And some parts Ricky might not mention is about the entrepreneurship journey, as part of our Smart Cities plans. Like during the November, we went to Barcelona that's the first trip, and yeah, we visit the Smart City Expo. That's a international expo, so it's a huge fair, and there's so many things happening there, and the presentation, and different mayor from different cities, the famous city like London, New York. It's like a big event, and then we have different activities training. Actually, it's about the entrepreneurship thinking and how to build up your company, and innovative thinking. And that's really helpful actually. And so I think in March or February maybe. Yeah, I didn't remember, but yeah, we went to Leuven to attend to the next the business journey, and during that time we also learned a lot about the different techniques and also tools, how to be innovative and how to be think differently, basically. So during the summer, so next month, yeah, we will go to Amsterdam, and yeah, I'm quite positive that will be awesome as well. So through the year, you have the three journeys, and you will learn a lot, that's for sure, and play a lot, and also, yeah, that would be a great chance to build up the connection with companies, and also for you to learn the tools if you want to build up your own companies. So that's a great tools. Next slide, please. So the last thing I want to talk about is this depends on you actually. You can feel good and feel bad, but depends on what kind of life you're gonna choose, and which course you want to choose, and what kind of thing you want to learn. But there's always have a lot of options, I can say. So depends on which position you want to put you in that. So welcome and find your seat. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much, Charles and Rickard, for the presentation and for your sharing your experiences. We have previously received in some questions from the sign up to this webinar, so I thought we will start there and then see if we get some more through the live chat. So this is actually one of the things that have come at previous webinars, but it's a very hot topic, and it's about electrical vehicles. And there is a question if you have encountered any courses related to the implementation of electrical vehicles in smart cities or anything of the like.
I can say, because I selected the electric transportation course. That's a course is an elective course. It's not that hard and not that deep, but you get like very basic ideas about the electric transportation, and also hybrid transportation, combine the electric and the gasoline one. So that's a quite good lectures, I could say. They provide a good amount of materials.
So, and also I'd like to add that course, yeah, I did not take that course, but that's the one that's directly related to that one. You can also do electrical machines. That'll talk about the rotary stuff. But in the smart cities course, that's mandatory. You'll talk about smart mobility, and not specifically electric cars, but more just the concept of what is smart mobility and how does that apply to a city. So you can be more specific, or you can be more general in this course.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there is a more practical question that have come in, and that is if there are any opportunities to work part-time to support your studies, especially if you don't come on a scholarship.
Those. Yeah.
Well, I work part-time but I'm Swedish. I live in Västerås, which is a town that you'll maybe hear of. It's where ABB was founded, and it's where they have a nice district heating plant. I work at the district heating plant. I don't know if you guys would be living in Stockholm, so you wouldn't be able to work part-time there. There are some people that have managed to find extra jobs among but not energy related, just more like, let's see, one of them is a girl, Maria, is working as a caretaker for a woman where she spends the nights there. And so there is the opportunity to do that. And of course you can, there will be, you'll have to look for them. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're like, yeah, here's all the jobs that you can sign up for. But if you look for them, there will be some, and you will be able to manage to do both if you're that kind of person.
So for me, I was doing the project, which I think every project you're gonna do, you find from KTH, they will pay you some money, like maybe in total like 7,000 crowns for 2 weeks, for I think 60 hours. So in total 60 hours, so which means like 2 months projects. And I think it will be not that easy to find one, because KTH really do a lot of research. So you should be, you could find the projects very easy, I think.
Okay, and so none of you felt that doing some part-time work had implications on your study performance or major such?
No, I don't think. Yeah, and also the language problem as well. Even though Swedish people are speaking perfect English, but the jobs, like I think majority of the jobs you need to have basic communication in the Swedish.
Exactly, and well, I'm from Stockholm as well, so I can testimony that we have several, or at least quite a few, first-year students here who have also gotten part-time jobs at more typical part-time jobs, like working in like the service industry or the restaurant business, which is very big in Sweden, and everybody in Sweden do speak English. So those types of opportunities are also here. And from InnoEnergy's side, there are opportunities for non-scholarship students to work with certain projects within the programs, so working together with program directors or education officers. But moving on to another question that we have come in, it's concerning the innovation journey, but more of the second part, which will be coming up for you to Charles and Rickard, because in the second year you're also going to go through a sort of innovation journey, but with a bit of a difference. And this question would like to know just what is the difference from the second year? Have you received any input from that or any ideas?
Yeah, I'll start off by saying that it's the second year one is optional because it's based off of, you're supposed to have a kind of idea yourself. Like in the beginning, in the innovation journey, they will give you an idea. They'll give you a company and they say, we have this thing, we want you to innovate it, and then we want you to sell it in a creative way, and then we want you to just market it. And then in the second one, it becomes, I think it's more, Anjo, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more, you think of your own idea, and then you'll go to the same places, but you'll do parallel, I guess not courses, but parallel lecturers will discuss more about the nitty-gritty details about how to make your thing into something robust that will survive in the market. So it's called, there's the innovation and then the entrepreneurship journey. So anything you can add to maybe clarify?
Because we didn't get the like specific information about the second year, how it works, but from our witness from the second year students, because they're doing the same journey, they come to the place and we discussed, and I think Ricky make it right. Like they are doing the parallel projects, but they proposed their projects by themselves. So that's the first thing. If you have ideas you want to make happen, then they were providing this journey to go to Barcelona, Leuven again. But otherwise, it's optional, as Ricky has said.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that sheds some light on that question. And there is a typical question that we usually get, and that is the choice of second-year university. One, why did you? Because as we assume, both of you are going to KU Leuven in Belgium. Why did you choose Leuven, and how did that process work?
Don't even. That was, oh man, that was a rough choice. Because you go, I picked Leuven because Leuven is a good school with like a good reputation. That was like the meat on the bones. Plus, after having been to Leuven, we saw that it's like a nice town. It's not as bad. Because the main thing is that Barcelona had the town. It was like the place to be. It was like the cool thing living in Barcelona, studying for a year. But then Leuven, you had the school where like the most innovative school in all of the world, or something like that. So for me, the school outwon the Barcelona thing. But we also had the option of going to Grenoble, which for some reason we just like it was. But it's a good. They got electrical grids. You can go skiing, but that was never really on the map. So there's 6 of us going to Leuven, and then the rest, which is 8, are going to Barcelona, and they're going more because of the place, and also because UBC, they do more industrial. In Leuven, you'll have way more options of choices, and in Barcelona, it's more selective, or it's more industrial engineering.
Okay, because we actually got a follow-up just right now on that. What have you gotten any input on what the difference of studying, like if you're taking your second year at UPC or Grenoble or Leuven, like what is the differences? Have you met maybe peers from the program, or gotten any insight in the difference, like what you were getting onto there, Rickard?
Do you want to talk, or?
You want to? Yeah,
well, there are clear differences. The way that they teach in the schools is completely different. I think it's Leuven is I think the way that it's listed is like Leuven is the most challenging school. KTH and Grenoble are kind of on the same level, and UPC is more kind of laid back. Is the main impression you get as students. You talk about the workload that you have to do. I think the people in Leuven, we have the most connection with the first year students, not so much with the second years from UPC. But it just seems like the workload is different. The culture is kind of different, but they're all still good in managing. I don't know.
Maybe I can add some facts. Like, first thing is, many first-year students went to Leuven. They failed some courses because that's really challenging sometimes. That's the fact. But yeah, so that's the fact we were facing as well. So I can see it could be really challenging. And the UPC, as the students from second year told us from UPC, you can have a lot of time to do your own work, like because you can apply, and also you have the time to do the thing you want to, if you have the ideas. But in Leuven, that would be really I think it's well planned, the projects and the courses, and like really tense. That's what I think about.
Yeah. And one thing worth mentioning is that in Grenoble and in Barcelona, like in Leuven, we know our master's thesis already, but in Grenoble and Barcelona, it's mandatory internship with a company. So that's also what lured a lot of people to go to either Barcelona, or people from last year to do Grenoble, is that you have guaranteed internship In Sweden, you have to apply for a master's, a second year master's with a company or with a school or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no Barcelona, you don't guaranteed internship, and it's a big focus on that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we actually have a question coming in from a different source here, and it's a bit different, but I'm gonna read it out loud. So it's directed at you, Charles. So maybe a big question, but how do you see smart city development in the big Chinese cities? And follow up, do you think there are opportunities for non-Chinese engineers or smart city engineers to enter and work in that market?
Good question.
That's a really good question. I think, first, Chinese market, the renewable market is growing really fast, and statistically saying, China is leading the renewable technology. I think, like there's so many wind power farms, like some companies, startup companies, and also some big companies that's doing this part. As a foreigners, as a non-Chinese students, if you want to join to China to work for 5 to 10 years, that would be, I think, you can make it happen. And as I said before, like when we have the Smart City Expo in Barcelona, many Chinese companies coming, and they do provide jobs there, and also some services they're doing right now. So if you're looking at the Chinese market, you could find them there. And there's and I think they're as a Chinese, I think Chinese company always looking for outsiders to come in and provide the knowledge, I think. So I think it's non-Chinese students can find a job, can find a place in China, especially on the renewable industry, because it's getting bigger and bigger.
Okay, some questions dropping in here. We're gonna take some more before we round off. So one of them is about PhD, if they are eligible for doing a PhD after the master program, which I'm sure also Machtel can jump in on. But Machtel, do you have any input on that?
Yes, the program leads to a double degree, so you'll receive 2 MSc degrees, one from each of the universities where you studied, and those degrees qualify you for a PhD wherever, basically where you want to apply. Yes.
Okay, great. And then one question about alumni. Have you been in touch with any alumni or met them at any of your modules or the trips you've done with the program? About what are they doing now?
Yeah.
What are people doing after the program?
That's interesting that they should ask. When we were in Leuven now for the Smart City Week, there was some alumni that had found work in Belgium. Let's see, one of them was doing his PhD. I remember there were 3 people that were talking.
I think
he's doing
that in England, he's in the Oxford University. I remember.
He's a smart kid, that one.
Yeah.
So he was doing his PhD. We had one that worked on a big company as a kind of I don't remember now what he did.
Consultant, I think. Energy consultant, I think. I think it's energy related companies, and they are doing the consultant or the engineer thing.
Yeah. And then there was the second guy who worked for kind of small. He worked for big companies, but now he's doing smaller companies. I forget the exact work, but we have been in touch with some of the. There was the girl. Yeah. There were 4 people.
Yeah, there's 4 people. I only remember the girl is doing the hosting of the that fair, but I don't remember what she's doing. What she's doing.
Okay.
Yeah, but we get in touch with the alumni.
We had the option to talk to them, and then if we maybe didn't seize the moment, then that's our bad. But we did have the option.
Absolutely. Okay, we're gonna finish off with the last question that might be a bit difficult for you to answer, since both of you have taken your first year in Stockholm. But there is one here that is gonna join KU Leuven for his first year and well,
See that?
he wonders if you have received any tip on what to prepare for, since you have talked a bit about that this is the hardest school with the very
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
good pace. So
Planning your
what should he do?
planning your study. As the people from Leuven told us, you have to plan it at like really precisely. Otherwise, if you miss one step, then you really mess up. So.
And I mean, we'll get to see you, Guy, at in first year Leuven next thing. But basically, the way that they said is that the way that the Belgians do it, Belgian students, is there's like a month of pure partying and then a month of pure studying.
Yeah.
Because what they do is because you go to classes and stuff and you'll learn and you'll buy the books and then you'll study, but you'll have to do like a written exam and then an oral exam.
Yeah.
Where you stand and you have to, they'll ask you questions, then you have to, depending on the whole course, and then you'll have to say the answers. I don't know if it's for every class, but I do know that it's very common. But yeah, it's gonna be. Oh, there are lines outside of the library from like
Yeah,
7
for the
o'clock in the
picture as
morning,
well.
because everyone wants to get into these libraries in order to study. Didn't believe it until they showed the picture. It's like pitch black and a huge line of people. I think just because they don't want to study at home, I don't really understand that whole culture. Yeah.
Maybe.
But we'll see. We'll find out together.
Yeah,
Exactly. It will be an adventure. Okay,
Yeah.
so just finishing off here, any advice for accommodation in Stockholm? We know you, Rickard, you live in Västerås, but Hanshao, how did you find accommodation?
Yeah, we apply for the accommodations very late, because like on the website they're saying you can't apply. Smart city students cannot apply at the very beginning, at like April, and we can only the portal only can be accessed during May. So when we apply for that, we receive the email saying we only have the Björkstaplar one. That's almost like 40 minutes metro to go to the city center. So that's a really
40 minutes in total. I've done the trip.
40 minutes in total, I think, but it's quite a long work, like every day. Yeah, but if you have the opportunities to get into Lapis or any other accommodations, that would be really nice.
Yeah. I can say from being here from Stockholm, there are a lot of forums where you can check for apartments, especially when you get here, where students are going away for a year and renting out their student accommodation, and it's going back and forth like that.
Is it allowed to do that? Because I heard like this is like against the law somehow, because you can't rent. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I'm not 100% sure on how it's allowed. I just know that everybody does it, and I've never heard anyone get in trouble for it. So, so that's a way as well. But that is it. We are running out of time, and so I would like to first of all thank all of our participants for taking their time, having patience with us starting up a bit slow due to technical wonders. But thank you so much. Thank you for your questions, and we hope to see you all next autumn. And then, of course, I want to extend my deep thanks to our presenters here today. Thank you for taking your valuable time. And yes, so without further ado, it's Friday. I hope we all have better things than sit in front of the computer. So have a nice weekend. And goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.